Hello and welcome to the Dow Pod, the Dits on Wrestling podcast here on Project Dits. I am Dits, and I am joined by my regular co-host, Anthony. How you doing, buddy? How's your week been?
It's good, and I'm super excited to live stream WrestleMania tonight. Let's do it. I'm ready. Cards out. Let's watch. See what's up.
Ooh. Missed the memo.
Me no get an agenda.
Me no negative. As per my email.
As per the DM I sent you. That's not what we're going over tonight. No, I'm good. It's been the weather's starting to turn for the better up here in the northeast of America. So the weather's nice. We're getting towards WrestleMania season. Also getting towards NFL draft season if you're a football fan, and I mean real football, not soccer, because that's a different thing. So it's a good time. I'm excited. How are you doing?
I'm good. I finally finished the garden.
Oh, yeah. I want an update. Let's get that in this intro. How'd it go? How'd it turn out? You pleased?
I am pleased, and the best thing is I haven't really gone back to work full time, but I had a lot of stuff on this week, so I've been in the office quite often. So every time I got home, my father-in-law had already done most of the work.
Well done. Way to delegate.
Which is great, because I just walk out and go, oh, great job. See you tomorrow.
Well done. Please be on time tomorrow to finish this project.
I think it was today. I was upstairs playing Fortnite with the boys, and I came downstairs, and then things were different in the garden. I was like, "What's happened here?" Like the hose was like reeled out, and there was some tools on the side. I was like, "What the hell's going on here?" I don't remember watering anything or using anything with the hose. Like, I wouldn't need to do any of that. It turns out he'd been here for about 3 hours and I didn't even know. So that's a bit concerning, actually.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like, I was like, part of that is like, oh man, that's amazing. And then it also, some of it's like, oh.
Yeah.
How's the
garden's finished as of
how about the garage?
Well, we don't talk about the garage.
Okay, sorry. I shouldn't have brought it up.
I said it in your way as well. Your garage.
Garage. Yo, garage.
It's in the garage.
It's in the garage. It is.
Now that is a job. That is a job that we'll get through in some time. But most of it is just throwing stuff out, which is easy.
We should live stream that.
Let's do it.
Garbage cleanup. Dow pod.
Garage drinking games.
Every time you like clean something or like throw something away, yeah, you gotta take a drink.
Down your drink for every wave of nostalgia.
down your drink for every childhood nostalgic piece you have to throw away because your wife won't let you keep it.
There'd be a really good piece actually for every, because I know there's a lot of discs, like Xbox discs and DVD discs, for every disc that is misplaced or not in the correct case. I know for a fact that garage is full of that.
Oh man. Then you could call the episode Dits Discs. That's a hard thing to say.
Dits Discs.
Dits Discs. Say that 5 times fast.
Dits Discs.
I can barely say it.
Yeah, I can't even say it first time. But speaking of drinking games, a little a preview for next week's episode. We will be doing some topical stuff as we do, but we do have our WrestleMania live watch along coming up in 2 weeks' time, where we might actually end up doing both nights. Now we're undecided, but we'll obviously get into that in a minute because that is the premise of today's episode. But we will also be doing WrestleMania drinking games next week. We will put all of that together. I would say live on air, but it's recorded. But you get the gist.
Mm-hmm. You get the dits.
You get the dits. So we're going to do some dits and pieces with that next week.
Heyo. And we're also doing the Harry Potter the beans during WrestleMania as well.
Yes, we're doing Bertie Bott's beans.
Which I can't reach it. It's too far behind me. I had a pack already. I'm going to get more, but I had it on my shelf already.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. I did a lot of those last night when I streamed, so... Stand by. But that's next week. This week we are still actually kind of prepping for the live watch along, and we're taking kind of a step away from the structure that we've had over the last 2 months. Have we been going now since we came back? I think it is 2 months.
Yeah.
where we have like quite a few topics to go with within an hour. But we're focusing on just the one this week because the majority, I'm sure there's more going to be added, but the majority of the WrestleMania card for both nights has been decided. So, and of course, like we potentially may only do one night for the watch along. So today's episode, we're going to be going through the card that has been revealed so far to the point of recording, which is Saturday night, and deciding which card we're going to go and watch. If it only ends up being the one. So something a little bit different.
I think WWE heard us chastise them over the last several weeks for not releasing the card, and they were like, "Uh-oh, the Dow Pod's calling us out. We have to release."
Well, the thing. Last week, obviously the episode aired on the Monday, and it was like, "Dude, where's my card?" That was the title. So witty,
very good, very clever.
Things. So witty with these things.
So witty.
Super witty.
So good. The wits, like, bro.
the focus, like the main event of that whole thing was, where's the WrestleMania card? And as I was going through the week, I was like, I'll plug the episode a bit extra, but it was like, well, I can't really plug the episode because there is a WrestleMania card now. What am I gonna do?
They knew it. Well, we know that Vince watches and listens to us.
Of course he does. Of course he
does.
As
does Cody Rhodes and Jerry Springer. Cody Rhodes is getting a TV show now.
It's something like Total Bellas, but
I would say more like Ms. and Mrs., but with Cody and Brandy.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Give that a hard pass.
I don't know. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm not a huge Cody fan. Part of me, I respect the hell out of, like, him and what he's done. And even Brandy for, like, her go at it in the ring. But, I really like AEW. And if there's a chance I can see some behind-the-scene things, or learn some things, I'll give it a try. Miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky.
I feel like we should always get an Office reference in every single week.
I feel like we do naturally.
We probably do, actually. Yeah, we probably do.
Yeah. We already did it this episode. We did the Me No Get an Agenda in the beginning without
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Me No Get an Agenda.
I like that one as well because it's in both the British and the American versions. So
there's a British version of The Office? What?
Don't do that.
Is Steve Carell created both of them, right?
Yeah. Right.
And
that's the end of the episode, folks.
And he let Timmy Gervais or some guy act on the other version or something like that.
Timmy Gervais.
Timmy Jervis.
Timmy Jervis.
Timmy Jervis.
Timmy Jervis. But we are still in the middle. I'm deep in negotiations actually, getting Jerry Springer on for the live watch along, but his agent is being a bit difficult. So I don't want to disappoint anybody or build anyone's hopes up for that matter either. But it is something we're working on. Yes. But we have made a signing this week on Project Dits. The Sweet Chinwag podcast has joined the team. Three great dudes, and they're doing things that we did, which is why I love the fact that I've got them on the team now, because they don't really focus on the week that was with wrestling. They do like a news segment, but they don't really do the week that was. So they'll focus on the episode last week. So they haven't released an episode yet. That releases on Wednesday this week, so 2 days after this. But last week they did on their own feed, going back and checking out wrestlers' original tracks. Remember that WWE Originals?
Yes.
Album? That.
I had it.
They go through the best ring gears and just kind of look at a little bit of everything, but not like really what we do now, which is good. So it's kind of come full circle. Like the gap has been plugged that we used to do since moving into this format.
Yeah, we did leave a bit of a hole.
Yeah, but they're very, very good. They're very, very good, and I'm happy to have them.
Happy days.
Happy days.
Happy days it is.
And you never know, they might show up during the WrestleMania watch along.
Ooh.
And other members of Project Dits.
Ooh.
They may pop in.
Ooh.
But.
Oh.
But.
Whoa.
before we do get to that live watch along where people can pop in, we need to decide which night, if we only end up watching one, which night we will go for. So we're gonna go through every single match that has been revealed so far in accordance with Wikipedia on the 28th of March, 2021. It's the 27th of March for Anthony.
It is time travel.
So time zones. Although I've gone an hour ahead. Like,
you got a whole.
Yeah,
it's
all
trying to
confusing stuff.
It sounds so stupid to say out loud, but figuring out the time difference between the two of us, and then also calculating that for daylight savings time in when it happens and how it happens, because we've already gone through. I think we went through it 2 weeks ago, and now you're just going through it. And so calculating I completely forgot about it. Back. Because you were like, oh, could we do it at this time? I was like, we are doing it at that time. And I was like, oh, I forgot to tell you, we moved an hour ahead.
Yeah.
So we traveled through time before you did. Because, I mean, everything happens in America first. We're the trendsetters.
America.
The best.
America. Freedom. Fuck America. So we're going to kick off night 1, April 10th. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair.
Best match of this card.
Yes. Absolutely.
Arguably the second match that I'm looking forward to the most.
From both nights?
Yes.
Oh.
Like leading into this. Like I wanted the Roman Reigns storyline, I think is fantastic. So I wanted to see, that's like my number one. But Bianca and Sasha is I think Roman and, well, now that it's a triple threat, but even before that, I thought it was going to be good. But I think the in-ring work combined with the story is fantastic. But Bianca and Sasha, I just think the match is going to be fantastic in the ring. I mean, they're two of, we've spoken out of here. Sasha is one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, not just for women, like wrestlers, period, men and women. And Bianca is one of the most athletic and pound for pound strongest wrestlers. Again, not for just women, like, period. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I really hope it doesn't let me down. I really, really hope. Like, 'cause that's how excited I am for it. Oh,
I don't think it will disappoint. Like
I hope they let them do. I also said the same thing. I remember arguing with my boys when it was AJ versus Nakamura, and it was like, no, they're going to let them do their thing. It's going to be awesome. It's not going to be like Wrestle Kingdom, but it's still going to be really good. And then after the match, I was like, I told you, and I'm super upset now. Thank you so much. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Yeah, I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah, and my hope is, obviously, you've had a build to this since Bianca said, okay, I'm going to challenge Sasha for the title at WrestleMania. We've had Nia Jax and Baszler thrown in the mix, and Reginald as well. I just hope, following Fastlane, now that that's out of the way, and Reginald seemingly has gone off to Raw with Jax and Baszler. No. Although I was saying that the women's titles go on all shows, don't they? So I guess he can pop up anywhere as well.
I don't know. Their belts are irrelevant now because of who holds them. So I don't really know what happens.
True. I'm just hoping that doesn't factor in, so they can now build towards that WrestleMania main event, which is what it should be.
Is that going to be the main event of night one? Like, well, I know Sasha said it.
In accordance with Wikipedia, it is the number one match on this card. And we know Wikipedia is a trusted source of information.
Of course, because you have to be a licensed internet user in order to put something on Wikipedia. You can't just be some regular old dude who just wants to type stuff.
I think there would be a massive backlash if there was.
They don't do backlash. They didn't. That's an old pay-per-view. That doesn't happen.
It shouldn't be. They should bring that back.
I know, it was such a good one. Yeah, I would see that as well. I think, especially knowing that Roman Reigns is going to main event night 2, I feel like night 1 would be main evented by women.
And even not from the gender side of things, you've got 2 nights, you've got 2 Rumble winners.
Oh, there you go. That's a good way to put it.
Done. Where's the during the women's Rumble? It was like, Bianca Belair's going on to main event WrestleMania. Right? That's not just a phrase. You don't just main event WrestleMania and then open the show. Main event WrestleMania. You're the main event. You go on last. You happen to have 2 nights.
I think it's different now with the. Oh, here we didn't do a question of the week, but I'm gonna ask you a question right now. Do you think WWE has too many belts? I'm just thinking of it right now because your main belt should main event a pay-per-view. But WWE technically has 3 because you've got the Universal for men, you got the WWE Championship for men, then you've got the SmackDown Women's title, the Raw Women's title. Yeah. So technically, you've got 4 main belts, and in theory, they're all supposed to be at the same level. But because it's different shows, so even right there, right? That's 4 belts. Then you've got 2 tag team belts, an Intercontinental belt, a U.S. title, and then the women's tag title. I feel like that's. But do you think they have too many belts?
I do.
Or maybe at least too many main belts, or as a whole, or just too many main belts, like with the Universal, the 2 women's, and the WWE Championship.
I don't think that can be helped with the main belts because you've got 2 shows, 2 brands, 2 completely different rosters. So it would be unfair, I would say, for one show to go, so Raw's going to have the WWE title, whereas every dude on SmackDown is where's his ambition now to be a world champion when there isn't a belt that exists on the show that he has to work on?
Here's a thought. Then you make the Intercontinental title the main belt of that show, which makes you can build around that to make it important, and then also then it adds to the major importance of the Royal Rumble. Because if you're a SmackDown guy and the WWE Championship is on Raw and you want to get at that belt, you have to win the Royal Rumble.
I like it. Oh, yeah. But then what do you do with the women?
Well,
because they don't have a secondary title.
No, I think they should get a secondary title.
So you do a trade-off. So Raw would have the WWE title. The women would have their world title.
On SmackDown.
And then you'd flip the mid-card and get rid of the US title. Because that's pointless. That's a pointless belt now.
Correct.
The US title. The Intercontinental title I feel with Big E and Apollo's feud at the moment, it is now
big time.
I mean, it could literally drop as soon as Apollo wins at WrestleMania if he does. I don't know. I don't feel like... I don't know. For the first time in a long time, I feel good about the belt. So I like that idea. We'll mention it to Vince.
I wasn't planning on that. It just came into my brain now. I just thought of it. I didn't mean to get us off track as we normally do. But yeah, I thought of it. I was just like, damn, because you've got so many belts. Think about it. Even if you just did a match, if you did no other matches, you just did title matches. WWE Championship, Universal, Raw Women's, SmackDown Women's, Intercontinental title, US title, Raw Tag Team. SmackDown has tag team titles?
Yeah.
Women's tag team titles. That's 9 matches already. Just if you do title matches. That's already 9. And in theory, every title, I feel like the title should be defended at every pay-per-view. That's why you have title matches on pre-shows and stuff, because you've got 9 belts. Oh, and I didn't put into, it's a joke, but the 24/7 championship, so that's 10. 10 belts.
Just have one set of tag titles.
Yes.
And tag teams just roam.
Yes. You could also, as tough as it would be for storyline continuity, you could also have the champions. If you say you did whatever. Oh, well. You could do all, the champions are on both shows. And make it that much more of a testament to being a champion because you have to double duty.
Oh, like they did with the Undisputed title.
Yeah. And so now you have to go, but the only problem with that is from a consistency and storyline standpoint, like you're going back and forth, and you might be on Raw feuding with so and so, and then on SmackDown you're feuding with so and so. What is that?
They had that because I remember when I think the Undertaker was the undisputed champion. Hulk Hogan was on SmackDown, and he had a match with Hogan at, I want to say, Judgment Day 2002. But then whenever Undertaker went to Raw, he was getting into like mini feuds with that. Well, that was when the Undertaker Jeff Hardy ladder match happened. He had a little spat with Tommy Dreamer, and then there was other little bits as well. It's kind of like, so once he's got that opponent of Hulk Hogan in this instance, you're just kind of letting them slide on the other show.
Exactly.
I think that.
So you'd have to get creative with, no pun intended, with like your booking or your storyline. But I think it would be tough. But also part of me thinks it would be sweet because then that adds more, not credibility, but credibility to a degree, because you're basically double dutying. Like you have to defend on both shows, or you're in multiple storylines, or maybe that creates potential invasion part things. If so-and-so's got a feud with this guy from SmackDown and he's on Raw this week, but dude from SmackDown like attacks him on Raw, and it's like, oh man, he shouldn't be here. How'd he get here? And then it creates more. That leads to more storylines with like Raw versus SmackDown. Sets up better Survivor Series angles. Sets up better angles for Kurt Angle. No, I'm just kidding. Sets up better angles for like your Raw GM and your SmackDown GM to like, hey, like your dude shouldn't be on our show. Get him under control. Like, oh, well, maybe if your show was blah, 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 he wouldn't have to do that, blah, 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 blah. And it creates little things here and there and little pockets. And I literally didn't plan. I didn't plan any of that. I just thought of it like now. But I don't know. It just seems like there's so many belts.
There is a ridiculous amount of belts.
It's just so, I don't know.
I'll tell you what. Put that on ice, because I would like to take a deep dive into that.
I'll put it in the freezer.
Put it in the freezer.
I'm literally making a note of it.
Yeah, do make a note of it, because I would like to go into that. Because that is a rabbit hole that could fill up an hour.
It is a rabbit hole.
Easily.
And it's funny, because Bad Bunny is a champion.
Yeah, speaking of Bad Bunny. Get it, rabbits, bunnies.
Hey-o. All right, I wrote it down.
There we go. So we are fans of Banks and Belair.
That's going to be sweet.
And it's going to be very, very good. It's going to be very, very good. And they now have... Well, I keep getting up the calendar because I keep thinking there's a lot more time left than there is, but there really isn't.
It's in 2 weeks.
So we got 2 SmackDowns to go.
Yes,
Ooh,
2.
So
2 weeks from right now, when we're recording right now at this moment, 2 weeks from now, WrestleMania Night 1 will be finishing.
Yes.
So you've got Raw and SmackDown this upcoming week, and then Raw and SmackDown the next week. So yeah, you've got 2 more of each.
Okay, well that's not really a lot of time to build, but they've been building for probably about 2 months now. But I think we're now into like the main drive. So,
but even with that, like I wouldn't be. I want to build and I want a storyline, but also I think they're both fantastic. Like I really don't care. You could tell me the night before on Friday that this was going to be the match. I'd be like, okay, this is 2 really good wrestlers. Okay,
yeah,
I don't care. Throw them in the ring. That's awesome. Obviously, like storylines help and the build helps, and knowing that there's feelings and emotion to it, it makes it better. But I just think they're going to put on a really good in-ring display, and I'm all about that.
And I already know something from this match that I'm going to include in our WrestleMania drinking game, which I know will happen a lot.
Boss time.
No, not that one, although that will be in there. So the second match on the Night 1 card is Bobby Lashley defending the WWE title against Drew McIntyre with Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin banned from ringside.
Drama. Oof. Have you heard the rumor or the thing that the reason they took the belt off Drew was so that he could get another WrestleMania moment in front of a crowd?
I haven't seen the rumor, but I kind of figured that if.
Yeah, we spoke about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it. Yeah, but I don't. I mean, we also said I don't think that's a good idea.
Agreed.
I feel really bad for Drew that he didn't get his big moment.
I don't. He sucks.
Fuck you. Stop talking about my boy. Don't do him like that.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that, were you?
I was not. No, not at all.
No. Fuck you. Yeah, so I'm gutted for him that he didn't get his moment last year.
Too.
But at the same time, WWE have booked themselves onto this path. Bobby Lashley has shined throughout the whole thing. Drew McIntyre is still shining. Like, he's amazing at the moment to me. A lot of people disagree.
To me.
You maybe half and half jokingly and half disagree. I don't know.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, he's been fantastic. I feel terrible that he had this run and nobody has been able to see it live. But as much as that sucks, I think it would be a disservice. I think it would be even more of a disservice to Bobby to have him lose at Mania, and I also think that would just be bad booking. Like, really, in like a month, like Drew loses, Miz has it, Miz gets housed by Lashley, Drew beats Lashley. Like, I just don't see, like, why even bother doing that? I would have rather Drew kept the belt out of Elimination Chamber, and then you just made Bobby look like a beast for leading up to Mania, and then Drew beat Bobby. Like, I'd rather just do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be angry if Drew wins, but like my go-to pick would be Bobby.
Wow!
He's been so good, and the way they built him up, like, it would be such a shame. I to be honest, they're gonna go at it, and it's gonna be a close match. Like, it's not gonna be a squash from either guy. So it's a 50-50 thing, but. I get why they'd want to give Drew his moment, but it's just not the right time. It's not the right time.
I agree. It's never the right time because Drew McIntyre sucks. But no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. Also, like, to your point, like, they booked themselves into a bit of a corner here because I feel like they're in a lose-lose. Not even a lose-lose. Like, if Lashley went. A lose-lose from the perspective of, like, if they're really concerned about the emotional aspect of Drew, if he loses, that sucks. But if he wins, then I think you're just going to hear a whole bunch of negative reaction from people being like, what? Drew got the belt back? This sucks. And exactly to your point, I think there's a lot of people who are on the Bobby Lashley bandwagon. And to be honest, rightfully so. Like, he's been sweet. The Hurt Business is awesome. I don't like the Hurt Business. I'm pissed that they lost the tag titles.
Yeah.
Let alone if Lashley lost the belt to Drew. And again, I like Drew. I think his finisher is awesome. I think he's got a cool moveset. I think the sword is corny, and so is the kilt. I like him better with the long trench coaty thing.
Yes.
But he's got great look, great music, great finisher. I like Drew McIntyre. I just don't want to see him get the belt back. I just think that would be so sloppy and so forced. I would, especially too, if you were going to do that. I mean, that takes it away from Edge. I would have rather you had, like, if your plan was to, like, oh, we're going to put the belt back on Drew on a stage full of people. Granted, you didn't know what the COVID situation was going to be. I would have rather you had him lose the belt earlier in the year than win the Rumble and then challenge Reigns and then take the belt off Reigns to give him his WrestleMania moment where he had to chase a title for like 5-6 months. Not where he wins it or he keeps it at Elimination Chamber, loses it shoddily, has like a 2-week feud with Sheamus for the 97th time, and then wins the belt back. It would just be, nah.
Yeah.
And I like Drew. Like, all jokes aside, I like him, and I genuinely feel bad for him. Like, knowing the kind of person he is, which, granted, we don't know, but for all intents and purposes, he seems like a quality human being.
Yeah.
And to know what he's been through in his profession and how hard he's worked and where he's come from to where he is now, you know it means a lot to him to have the belt and be that guy. And I genuinely feel really bad for him that he hasn't been able to get a proper run. But that being said, I don't think it would make sense for him to beat Lashley. As much as I want to see him get his due, I just wouldn't like it. I mean, I wouldn't be like, oh, this sucks, stupid. But I would definitely be like, oh, really?
Yeah, I'm with you there. But it's going to be a good match. It is going to be a good match. I think they had a pay-per-view last year. I can't remember which one it was, but I'm pretty sure they had
78 pay-per-views.
Yeah. I know they had a good match last year for the title.
I really want to see. I'm loving whatever I think it's called, like the Almighty Slam. His version of the Spine Buster, where he like throws you off the ropes, basically like catches you and like lifts you like that and slams you down. I really want to see him do it to Drew, and I want to see Drew get some height and elevation. Like I want to see Bobby Lashley slam the hell out of a very large man who may get some air, and because like Miz, the one he did to Miz was awesome, but Miz is lighter. It's still athletic. Drew is bigger, but I would say Drew is more athletic than The Miz. Drew can get height and air and speed combined with Lashley's power. Oh, man. I want to see him like almighty slam him through the ring. Like, I am very excited for that spot.
Drew was doing flips over the rope, wasn't he, at some point in the last couple of years?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I don't think I've seen him do it for a while. I'm sure
he's very
he was.
Athletic.
Yeah, and it's funny you should say, actually, that have a big man do a good bump like that. And again, it annoys me that I've forgotten who it is. A big guy took a bump, but he got air, and I was like, whoa, that was impressive.
Great Khali.
Great Khali, inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famer, yep.
Mental. Great Khali before other more.
That Hall of Fame holds no weight to me. Snoop Dogg is in it. No disrespect to Snoop Dogg, but like
Donald Trump is in it.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I care about it even less then.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've never been one to take the Hall of Fame seriously.
No.
At all. And to be honest, I only ever watch it if there's somebody who I personally have like enjoyed. Like Kurt Angle was the last one I gave any kind of crap about. There are a few this year with I think Batista now has put it off until he can do an acceptance live, because I think he's got scheduling conflicts. But I think Eric Bischoff, I'll watch that. Molly Holly, I'll watch that. I'm sure there's some other ones that have been announced that are like, Kane. Kane got announced this week as well, so it's actually a decent Hall of Fame this year, and I would probably actually end up watching the whole thing, to be honest, because there are quite a few on there, but usually there isn't. Like when it was like Hillbilly Jim, I was like, I don't really care.
Nah, I'm out.
I respect you and
but
everything
no
you've done, but it's not for me. I don't
no,
know who
thank
you
you.
are. I don't know who you are.
No thanks.
And before we move on to the next match, quickly, I heard another rumor today. I was looking for pictures of Brock Lesnar for my social media post I put out on Twitter saying I missed him. I saw in the news section of Google that there is a rumor that Lesnar is going to referee the match between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre.
Why?
It was on two separate websites. That's never going to happen. That doesn't make any sense.
Also, just from like a kayfabe perspective, Brock didn't know how the Money in the Bank contract worked. I don't think he knows how to referee a match. Like, I don't think he knows the rules other than like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And like, do you tap out? Okay. Like, I don't think he knows anything else.
That was funny. Yeah, it did make me chuckle when I saw it.
Interesting, though.
With 2 weeks to go as well, that's not happening.
This will be our first Brockless Mania in a very long time.
That's why I tweeted it. I actually realized when I was looking at the card in preparation for today, I was just like, oh, we don't have Brock. It's sad. It's sad that we don't have Brock. I miss him.
The Beast.
The Beast.
The Beast.
But instead of Brock, we get Bad Bunny with Damian Priest versus The Miz with John Morrison. I don't care. I don't care.
I think it's really cool with how much Bad Bunny loves wrestling.
Yes.
I've known about him for years. Ton of my friends are Dominican. My wife is Dominican. I've known about Bad Bunny for years. Listened to a bunch of his music. I've seen going back, I don't know, like 2, 3, 4 years ago when Ric Flair was first in one of his videos. I like him. I could not care less about this match. And also, I like Damian Priest. I liked seeing him when he was in Ring of Honor, when he was Punishment Martinez. The arrow gimmick annoys the hell out of me. He does it for everything. Everywhere he goes, he like walks and it's super slow and he smirks and then he pulls it out and just sits there. And he does it's not even proper arrow technique. He just like does this and then just like goes like that. And then it like does this. And then he does it to the Titantron. And then he does it to the ceiling. And then he does it to the hard camera. And I'm like, all right, I get it. Like you're in a...
You're the Archer of Infamy. We get it.
That nickname sucks. It's just so... Even the... Hold on. Oh, I don't know if I have it anymore. I think I had it on Twitter. Do I still have it? Pull. Damn, I don't. Even the graphic, the match graphic, is like Bad Bunny, and Damian Priest is behind him, like small, like going like this with his stupid Archer pose. Like it's just... that is annoying the hell out of me. I don't... Between that and then knowing that Bad Bunny isn't a wrestler, and also knowing that I love The Miz as a promo, but I don't like him in the ring, I could not care less about this match whatsoever.
Shout out for the moving match graphics, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I saw it with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Good for them.
Yes. Everyone else as well. Everyone else has had one so far.
Oh, really?
That's been, yeah.
Welcome back. It only took them, what, like 17 years?
I think it's a one-off, but I'm so happy it's back.
It needs to come back. It's so good. Especially like, not to compare, AEW's match graphics are so awesome. Whether they're moving or whether they're still, like, they look so much better. And they're so cool. WWE's are just...
If anything, I'm intrigued with what Bad Bunny will do.
He's going to win.
Oh, yeah, I think he's going to win as well. But I don't think it's a Pat McAfee situation where he was going off and doing all the training and doing all the bits and then faces Adam Cole and we're all like, holy shit, like the dude can go.
No, yeah,
I don't think it's going to be that situation as much as I would like it to be.
No.
That case.
I think he'll be able to. I think he'll pull off some spots, and then it's whatever.
Yeah, he'll definitely jump. He'll jump off the top rope to the outside onto Miz and John Morrison. Called it because he did it at the Rumble.
You have to drink every time that happens. For that
match, you have to down your drink. You have to down your drink.
Every time it happens, fine. Then you have to down your drink every time Damian Priest shoots a fucking imaginary arrow somewhere.
No, I won't have any beer left.
He's just, and it's the smirk too. Like he thinks he's the coolest. He comes in just. It's just so stupid.
For those who are listening to this on audio foam.
I just nailed a Damian Priest impression.
Yeah, it was pretty sexual.
And which is a shame because I think he's cool, like as a wrestler, and especially for a big man, like to watch him move like that. But yeah, I'm not digging the arrows, bro.
No. Moving on, and I'm aware of the time as well that we've spent.
How far are we in?
3 matches out of 11.
Well, some of them I feel like will be fast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this one. We have the New Day defending their titles, the tag team titles, against AJ Styles and Omos.
I'm super over the New Day as like a whole. I've just had it.
I think you mentioned that last week as well, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's weird because, like, I like them. Like, I really like Kofi. I really like Big E. I like Xavier Woods. I also love video games. So everything that Xavier Woods does with Up, Up, Down, Down, I think is fantastic. I'm just tired of them always having the belts. Yeah. And then knowing that this is, like, their, like, 11th reign. But they just, I just don't. Especially knowing that they took them off the Hurt Business, which I didn't. I thought they were going to make the Hurt Business like a sweet stable, and instead they didn't.
Well, they've literally only won the belt so they can face AJ and Omos. That's the only reason.
I'm going to be upset if AJ and Omos don't win. which I feel like they won't.
I think they will.
I hope they do. I just don't know if they're ready to commit to almost like wrestling a lot.
He probably won't. He will probably just stand there and then throw somebody, and then AJ will tag himself in and pin.
I hope. I'm down for that, but I'm not. It's weird because again, I like Kofi. I like the New Day as like wrestlers, but I'm just over their whole thing. And I love AJ Styles. But yeah, this is I can't believe I'm saying it. Like, I don't care about this match at all.
You know what? I think I agree.
And it feels weird saying that. Like, I genuinely can't believe that I'm like, meh. Don't care.
It's the same for me. It's the same as Bad Bunny. Like, I'm intrigued as to what Omos will do, and that's it. Like, it'll be a good match. I'm sure it'll be a good match, but it's not always about, is it going to be a good match? Is it going to be a bad match? Like, I need to care about it as well.
And I just don't. I'd rather watch AJ and Kofi wrestle.
Yeah. Or have what we all thought that we were going to have 3 or 4 weeks ago and have Ali versus Kofi. I think Ali's injured anyway, so there's a reason why that's probably not happening. But that would have been good. That would have been good to have Kofi and Ali go at it.
That would have been great.
So that's two. Well, that's 2 matches we're very excited for night 1. 2 we don't care about, apart from a little smattering of intrigue with some debutants.
Almost some intrigue. Get it? See what I did
there? But hop aboard the hype train.
No.
Choo choo.
I will not.
It's Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a singles match.
Not even talking about this. I refuse to take part in this segment.
I'll talk about it.
Okay.
I'll happily talk about it.
They put a fucking train into his...
That's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous. I've been seeing so much stuff, and it's funny because it's so true. Like, people saying, oh, like, it's clever doing business with having Bad Bunny and having Logan fucking Paul.
Wait, what?
Have you not heard?
No.
So, I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday night, Sami Zayn did his usual in-character Twitter stuff with the conspiracy of WWE and upper management and his documentary series. And Logan Paul reacted, or retweeted, or quote tweeted Sami's post and was like, oh, like, I've seen the footage. I completely agree with you, blah, 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 blah. And Sami was just like, yeah, happy, kind of like, going, yay, brilliant, somebody agrees with me. And when I saw it, and then WWE posted a quote tweet with the eye emojis. So it was like a couple of sets of those. And I was like,
yeah.
Oh, no, here we go. And then on Friday on SmackDown, it was revealed that next week there's going to be a red carpet event for the trailer for Sami's documentary with special guest Logan fucking Paul. So that's the thing that's happening.
He's super insufferable as like a human being.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to see.
From what I've seen, he's a dick.
1,000%. I would rather watch Braun versus Shane on repeat than see him anywhere near anything I have to watch. I would rather watch Nia Jax wrestle Nia Jax than see that man. Person.
Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
The only redeeming thing would be if Kevin Owens power bombs him. Like he did to K-Fed. Or no, it wasn't K-Fed. It was
Machine Gun Kelly.
That was years ago. Machine Gun Kelly, yeah.
Oh, really? Logan Paul?
Yeah, bringing him in.
Oh, this whole segment sucks. Logan Paul and Braun and Shane? Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't even want to be on this show anymore.
Yes, sorry about that. But yeah, so I was reading about it. They were saying, oh, like, you've got the Bad Bunny, you got Logan Paul, bringing in that younger or the target demographic that they're trying to get. But then they go, oh, bring those in. That's smart. It's smart. Appeal to them. But then you add stupid shit like a choo-choo sound effect. You might as well have been playing the Thomas the Tank Engine theme.
I was saying, you got to get that younger demographic.
You got to
the
get the younger
5 to 7-year-olds.
in. What? I thought, because when I first saw it, I thought somebody had edited it. I was like, oh, that's quite funny. And it turned out it was fucking real. I was like, no, you haven't done that. I don't see it making a return.
I hope
not. In fact, I actually sarcastically said that was amazing. It needs a grander stage. We need to have that at WrestleMania. And people thought I was being serious. I was like, no, I'm being sarcastic. Sense the tone.
It's just so cheesy and corny. And I also don't like the move anymore because, like in kayfabe, like I hate his stupid little finger twirl, and everybody just stands there and like lets it happen and like watches him do it. It's almost as bad as when dudes are about to like do a suicide dive and the guys on the outside just stand there or like grab each other and huddle up, and they have to wait there for a good like 2 to 5 seconds, and you're like, okay, they're setting this up. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the move and the sound. Yeah, the sound effects are just, man. Yeah, I don't know if they'll go away. We said the same thing when they added creaking casket noises to Aleister Black's entrance.
Yeah.
And
the ricochet bullet.
Pew, 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 pew. Ricochet noises. Bing, bing, bing.
So stupid.
Bang, bang. Like, no.
So stupid. Yeah.
So stupid. Yeah, I mean, I'm down to stream both nights. I put night.
So that's the 3 duds in a row. And the thing is, like, you know me, like my favorite match in wrestling features Shane McMahon. And I know he can do some good stuff, but the build to it alone has been so freaking painful.
Yeah.
Like he's they try and cover it up like, oh, it's because you get no, like Shane is stumbling over his lines left, right, and center. He's chucking. Well, this is the thing as well. He's chucking green goop and slime all over Braun Strowman. And the following week we've got choo-choo sound effects. Like, this isn't kids' TV. Like, this is
a joke.
This is not breakfast kids' TV that I used to watch before I go to school. Like, it's wrestling. I understand it's PG. But.
And also
come on.
The only payoff that makes sense, especially because again, in the aspect of kayfabe, Braun is a beast. Shane is not. Shane is much older. Braun should almost murder him in the ring. It should not even be a contest. This is like what I fear is Shane doing his little terrible jabs and Braun selling it like he's getting rocked and like hit, and everybody like, are you kidding me? These little feeble jabs, come on. Like, and it just I just can't buy. And not that a bigger guy shouldn't be wrestling with a smaller guy. We saw Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar several years ago, and
I watched that match today.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, just go a tangent. We won't go down that tangent. I will say.
But that was a good match, and everybody was like, "Oh, Brock's gonna kill Daniel Bryan. Bryan's a little guy." And that match was fantastic. They hooked us. They got us to believe. You just can't. I don't see that anyway with Shane and Braun, unless they do like a hardcore match, and then we have like chairs and kendo sticks and things like that. But even so, like Braun is like a human redwood tree. Even if Shane hits him with a kendo stick, I feel like Braun would just be like, and then like rock him in the face. Like,
well, they did that on Raw. Shane hit him with a crutch, and he just went, "Huh?"
Yeah, of course. Because and I don't even think that's like, if that happened in real life, like if I ran up on Braun Strowman and smashed him with a kendo stick, I really feel like he would just turn slowly and be like, "What the hell's the matter with you?" Like, it wouldn't faze him because he's all jokes aside and all puns aside, he's a monster of a man. He's huge. He should murder Shane. The only thing that makes sense when they fight each other is that Braun just like drags a lifeless Shane around the ring and like basically Hulks him like what Hulk did to Loki, where he just grabs him by his feet and just smashes him back and forth in the first Avengers. Like, that's it. Like, that's what Braun should do to Shane. But it won't happen. And I can't believe Shane has like Shane's match on the card has arguably the most build if you take the time into account. Like, his match is one of the most amounts of build. Like
Yeah.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just found out they're having a match. Shane and Braun have been on a path at least like 3 or 4 weeks ahead of that. That's wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
But a match that has had a little bit of build, at least. The final, well, at the moment, the final match for night one, Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. I'd be sad to miss this one if we didn't catch it.
Yeah, this one should be. This is arguably, from a pure in-ring standpoint, I think this one, it's either this or Sasha and Bianca that I think will be the best in-ring match of either night. Again, hopefully, this is me thinking like, okay, these two dudes can both really go. They've got experience with one another. This should be sweet. I hope.
And I love that Cesaro has a spotlight.
Yes.
As well on a WrestleMania card, because I don't think he ever has. I don't count the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal win. No. Don't count that.
That doesn't count.
I believe that was on the pre-show anyway. I might
Correct.
Be wrong.
Doesn't count.
And he's probably been in tag matches and stuff, but I don't know if he's had a singles match at WrestleMania before. I'd have to look it up.
I know he's been in it as the Bar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they lost. Didn't they lose to Nicholas and Braun? Isn't that who? That's right. That's who lost to Nicholas and Braun, right?
That happened. Yeah.
Man, that's wild.
So based on that alone, it's good to see him have this. It's good to see him have this. It's had a decent build as well.
He's gonna win.
Who's gonna win, or Cesaro's gonna win?
Cesaro's gonna win.
I hope he does.
I think Cesaro wins. I think this has been built to make Cesaro win.
Because this is the thing. Seth Rollins at this point, especially being a heel, doesn't need it.
No, exactly.
Doesn't need a win.
He's
Cesaro
established.
Does. Yeah. And he makes that's the fun part of the build as well. Like, he keeps making that point very, very clear that he has succeeded in his WWE career, where Cesaro has, quote, failed.
Correct.
So I'd be up for Cesaro to win this. And if we did do the one night only, which, let's be honest, based on what we've just read out there, it's probably going to be night 2. I'd be sad to not. Oh, say we will watch it, but not watch it together. I'd be I'm a little bit sad about that.
I mean, signs are kind of pointing to do them both nights.
They are. If it is, I'm even more excited. Night 2. Very wary of the time now. We've got 5 matches to get through. We'll do some overtime. We're talking about WrestleMania. It's
WrestleMania.
Fine. Roman Reigns.
Awesome.
Edge.
Sucks.
Bryan.
This match would be sweet if not for Edge.
Yeah,
him and just Drew, they suck.
To be fair, you aren't actually an Edge guy, and you never have been.
No, but I think he's good.
You do appreciate.
Yeah. And I think this match, I really like what we're seeing with like the desperation that Edge is feeling and how upset he is at this whole scenario.
I was going to talk to you about that. How do you feel? Well, obviously, I don't think Edge needed to turn heel as such. But how do you feel about Edge's booking going into this, being the elder statesman after winning the Rumble, babyface, comeback veteran, going for the world title, and now he's unhinged Edge, who's going a bit loco, maybe questioning what he's doing. Every now and then you see it in himself, where he's just like, "Oh, have I just done that?" But then at the end of SmackDown this week, it was very much
him just sitting in the chair. Like, I like it because to me,
I like it. I'm with you. I like it.
To me, it's, and maybe this is like obvious or it's been like stated or whatever, but to me, it's him like, oh, I came back. Oh, sweet, I won the Rumble. I'm gonna challenge Roman Reigns, and then
Bryan
getting in his way and adding another obstacle to a person who's like, yo, I overcame a whole bunch of stuff, and then I came back, and then I got hurt again, and also, like, I'm old, and I've gone through all these things, and now, like, this small asshole is going to get in my way, and I'm upset at that, but also, like, I'm a good guy, but I'm, like, also kind of conflicted, but also, like, I'm still, a guy who has done horrible things in my character because like I used to be a really like big time heel. Like I like it. I just think it adds a lot of unpredictability to the storyline, to the match. And I also like too going into like this triple threat match where usually you've got two and one in terms of like two faces or two heels and one face and two faces, one heel, or three and three. Very rarely have you have like one of each. And right now we've got like one heel, Reigns, one face, Bryan, and then one wild card, which is Edge, who wants the belt, which everybody wants Roman to lose, but then also he's attacked Bryan really violently multiple times now, so he's also kind of a prick and a bad guy. So he's legit like, you've got legit like heel, face, and then Edge in the middle.
Yeah.
And I love that he's like snapping. I thought it was a sweet end to that thing on SmackDown, him just wiling on everybody with the chair, trying to legitimately like kill people with the concerto and then not getting it and then just unfolding it and then just sitting it down. And Edge does a thing that I really like when he gets like intense with stuff, when he does like he puts his hair behind his ears and like gets ready, and he did that and he sat down and he like grabbed his hair and then he just like sat all pensive but like wide-eyed pensive. I was like, oh, that's sweet.
And then spot the hard cam right at the end.
Yes. So I think this will be a fun in-ring match, but then the storyline, I mean, we've got so many things like Bryan storyline in and of himself, Edge storyline in and of himself, head of the table Roman Reigns storyline in and of himself. They all coalesce and merge. I'm very interested to see. I think Reigns wins. I'm interested to see who eats the pin.
See, I can't call it.
If Reigns loses, he's not eating the pin.
I think if Reigns loses, he's not getting pinned. To kind of the Brock Lesnar effect. Yeah. Funny old thing, the amount of battles they had together. Honestly, this is what I really like about it. So I can't call it. I actually can't call it. And like we said, this is the match that we are both looking forward to the most. Which kind of sells night 2 on its own for me, to be completely honest with you. Like if I was to miss this match out of everything else at Mania, this is the one I would be the most like.
We told ourselves multiple weeks ago, we were like, in each episode and offline, we were like, well, we have to decide what night we're going to do. And then we literally were like, whichever night the Reigns match is probably the night we're going to watch. And it's crazy. Again, even thinking about it, like, I can't believe I'm at a point with Roman Reigns where the match I want to see most at WrestleMania involves Roman Reigns. And it's not because like, and it's not because like, it's going to be terrible or I want to see everybody lose their mind when he beats so-and-so. Like, we've come from so many years of just being like, he's going to fight Taker and win. Great. He's going to fight Triple H and win. Great. Like, but now I'm like, oh man, I want to see the Roman Reigns match. And then I'm like, who said that? Did I say that? Like, man, it's going to be sweet. Even if he could have been fighting anyone, like he could have fought Kevin Owens for the 17th time. And I would be excited to see this match the most.
Yeah. And this is a trend throughout this night as well with build, not everything, but most of the stuff. The storylines going into this, even the Daniel Bryan aspect that's been going for the last 2 months, Edge from the Rumble, Reigns from his return at SummerSlam last year, I want to say.
SummerSlam, yeah, right.
It's been fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic. Very, very well built. We've got this triple threat now. We've still got 2 weeks to go, and they're already going. Well, Edge especially going absolutely crazy. We've got the Jey Uso wild card in the mix as well. Yep. I'm excited for it. I am excited for it. But next on the list, this kind of goes against what I just said, but this is the... no, it's not the only exception. There's another one as well, but this is one of the exceptions. Asuka, Rhea Ripley, Raw Women's title. I'm excited for it as an exhibition. Obviously, there's been no build.
This is because Charlotte got COVID, right?
I've heard 2 things, and I don't really want to delve into the latter of what it is. So COVID, yes, she does have COVID. She confirmed that on Twitter.
Yep.
But I also heard that WWE called her bluff, or she called WWE's bluff, should I say? Because Andrade was just like, yeah, I want to get my release. I'm like, well, we'll only grant it if you sit out WrestleMania. And she was like, okay. I was like, oh,
I did hear that.
Okay.
You're right.
I don't know if there's any truth in that, but
that would be
that's what I read.
Awesome. One, it would be awesome to see that she like stood up and was like, "Do you think I'm going to choose you over like my husband? I choose my husband." Like that's badass. One, two. I love it from the evil nature of it of WWE, either the evil nature of it or just the stupidity, like whether they were that manipulative and vindictive to make a proposal like that, or just the pure comedy of it of like, well, tell her we'll do it if she sits out Mania. And she's like, done. And they're like, I'm sorry? Yeah, excuse me? Done. Where do I sign? No. We didn't know, but you just said, yeah, but it was like, I didn't mean that. Like that. Oh, that being true would be hilarious and awesome to me. But
I hope that comes out in some kind of documentary or interview at some point. Just
right?
To confirm
that would be so fantastic. But yeah, I don't think. And the cool thing, I mean, we get to see Rhea Ripley get a sweet WrestleMania match again. She had a high-profile match with Charlotte last year. Now she gets another one against Asuka. Yeah, it was very good. I don't think. See, what's interesting now is it's for the belt, right?
Yeah.
You've done all this promo for Rhea Ripley for like weeks, not having her wrestle, just showing these vignettes and vignettes and vignettes and vignettes. So to have her have this match and then lose would suck. But also, I don't see her beating Asuka. I'm very torn as to what'll happen, but either way, I think I'll be entertained for it.
See, I do.
You think she wins?
I think Asuka's reign has been dud.
Agreed. They don't do it. They don't do things right with her. They don't understand.
Yeah, this isn't the first time it's happened, because they did it when she was with Kairi, and she was the tag champ as well, and then that was taking precedence over the women's title. I was like, do you not know how this works? Like, the Raw women's title is definitely a damn sight more important than the women's tag titles. That's your focus, and you're doing it completely the wrong way around. But it has been an absolute dud. But with Rhea, I don't know. I think it would, if you want to make a big statement for Rhea coming in and making up for the fact that she got screwed over last year with the Charlotte Flair effect.
Yeah, but Asuka has also had the Charlotte Flair effect.
Well, that's true. She has. Yeah.
Exactly. What do you do? I just don't think you can build. And granted, I don't. Go ahead.
Yeah, the only build that Rhea has main roster wise is the fact she finished second in the Rumble. Whether WWE call back to that, which they should, because they go, oh, she literally just lost out on a main event spot at WrestleMania.
Didn't she also
just lost out?
Maybe it was War Games I'm thinking of. When they did the Survivor Series between all three brands, didn't she win it for Team NXT? Didn't she like demolish everyone and was like the last person standing, or she got the final thing?
I believe so, yes.
So but maybe that was
not last year because they didn't have NXT last year,
2019 WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that and the Rumble, she's got no main roster stuff really, and I don't see. Granted, maybe this wasn't their initial plan, because maybe their plan was not even maybe. I think their plan was Asuka Charlotte at Mania while they were doing all these Rhea vignettes,
and then Rhea Monday after Mania
and now they have to shift gears. But regardless of that, I think even if you have to shift gears, if your plan was to make Rhea a thing, she has to win. You cannot do big promo for someone, big promo, and then they lose.
Yeah.
No, can't happen.
Yeah, I'm with Rhea. I am with Rhea. But it would be a good match. It will be a good match, regardless. I'm looking forward to it because I don't think they've had No, well, they wouldn't have had a match
No,
because Asuka had already moved on.
Rhea was just a pup when Asuka was running things in NXT.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited by it from a match perspective.
As
There's
am
been no
I.
build apart from, oh, you see that big WrestleMania sign? I'm going to point at it, and that means I now have earned a Raw Women's title match.
I thought of that too, like, because I'm fine with it in terms of the match because I want to see it, and two, I understand the short nature of it because of what's going on with Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
But in kayfabe, again, I've said this for like the fourth time tonight. What is her legitimacy to a title match? She hasn't even won a match on the main roster. What makes you, unless you were like, oh, I finished second in the Rumble, I want a match, and then I guess nobody else objects. But I felt like, and maybe they'll do it this week on Raw or whatever. Maybe somebody will come out and be like, no, like you don't deserve this or something. But yeah, what is her? So what's the precedent here? You can just show up and be like, if I get to point at the sign of the pay-per-view, I get a match at the pay-per-view. Like, is that what the precedent is? I don't understand. Again, this sounds I may be nitpicking, but from because at the end of the day, we're supposed to believe what we're watching is real. So, like, what is the thing? Like, you just point and you get a match? I mean, I'm okay with it, but also what?
But how often does it happen? Every single year.
So,
the worst thing is, and this is a good segue into what we're about to talk about. The Fiend with Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton. The WrestleMania pointage even happened in this segment on Raw.
I don't like the new Fiend. It's gross.
You don't like it because it's gross, or you just don't like it?
Yeah, I don't like the uncooked bacon look or whatever he's got going on. I don't like it. It's gross.
See, I like it.
It's too gross. I also just inherently dislike the Fiend because I want cult leader Swamp Fedora Bray Wyatt back. I want the fedora and the lantern and the Hawaiian shirts and the white pants and the tank top. Like, that's who I want. That's the Bray Wyatt I want. No disrespect to Firefly Funhouse Bray or the Fiend. I want cult leader Bray Wyatt back. I want to see a match, and I want to hear, "We're here." That's what I want. I want him back. And the Fiend. Every time I see the Fiend, it's a reminder that Cult Bray is no more. And
we do like Cult Bray on this pod.
But yeah, he's gross looking. But this is a cool storyline and a cool angle. And Alexa has been killing it, and Randy has been killing it, and we all knew this match was coming. So we'll see what happens.
Currently advertised as a singles match, straight up.
Well, yeah. What else would you think
change.
It would be? 2. What's it going to change to?
I mean, it's got to have a gimmick to it. They can't just have a straight up singles match.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know why I thought you were going to be like a tag match. I was like, who's going to tag with Randy?
Like, you set the Fiend on fire, and then you've had fireballs thrown in faces. Randy's been coughing up black
goo
stuff.
It's got to be a Firefly Funhouse match.
But how did they do it though? That's the thing.
Like what they did with Cena or Braun.
But you'd have a cinematic match, but you'd have fans in attendance this time. So would you just put it up on the big screen?
Oh crap! You're right. Well, what did they? When did Braun and the Fiend happen, or Braun and Bray?
That was Extreme Rules.
Also during COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was before COVID. Yeah, that probably wouldn't work then.
So
no, didn't
they?
Didn't they have a? They had like 2 or 3 years ago, didn't they? They had a Wyatt compound match, didn't they?
They did.
And they just threw it up on the Titantron, and then it didn't end in the arena, or something crappy.
I'm not sure.
It wasn't good, but they did that. They just threw it up on the Titantron, which I would be if I were in attendance. I'd be pissed.
For WrestleMania, because I think that New Day Wyatt compound one wasn't.
No, there was another one with Bray and Randy.
Where
they were in like a
the House of Horrors.
Yeah, right.
That was. I have a feeling that was Extreme Rules as well.
I think it was, and that was in front of a live audio. That was way before COVID. And they just put it up on the
Yeah.
Jumbotron. Yeah, because that's the one where no. Randy set fire. Yeah, didn't Randy set fire to the house at the end?
That was in the build
Damn it.
to the match, I think.
Okay, I'm remembering crazy things. But that happened at a pay-per-view. That happened at a pay-per-view. They did, something. I think it was House of Horrors.
But you can't have that at
that's
WrestleMania.
What it was called. A House of Horrors match. Wasn't it called that?
House of Horrors match, yeah.
And it was basically just Randy like wandering around this dilapidated house.
Yeah. I quite liked it, to be honest.
I don't remember what happened.
I don't remember who won, but I remember enjoying it to a point. I was like, well, this is
would be better than when they fought live at WrestleMania several years ago, and they put all the different graphics on the mat from the ceiling and putting bugs and larvae and all this weird crap.
Let's not have a repeat of that.
No. They don't have good matches when they do these things. I have a feeling it's going to. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to hate it or not, but I'm interested.
I enjoyed their Inferno match from TLC. I enjoyed that. But again, that was without fans in attendance, so they could be a bit more creative with it.
Yeah, you can pre-tape and change and do whatever the hell you want. You can't do that.
Yes, exactly. So what they do this time round, unless they end up brawling backstage or something, and then they flip the tape to a pre-recorded segment that we don't know. Oh, it's still live, and they do it that way. I don't know. But
I was thinking it, or the opposite. Like they start with the pre-recorded, and they're just like hanging out backstage in Gorilla, and then like the match ends in the ring.
Yeah,
like, starts in the Firefly Funhouse or something, or a weird thing. Like imagine it, or even if they did the Cena angle with like weird stuff and all those different things, and then like the lights go out, and then like Evolution Randy Orton is like in the ring, and he's like looking at himself like, what the hell is going on? Like, why am I in this suit? What the hell? Like, but that was the last thing they showed on the Jumbotron, and then they fight from there. Or I just see something like that happening. I don't think they'll. To your point, I don't think they'll have just a straightforward like one-on-one match. And you can't. Also, you can't like. This feud has been marked by setting people on fire, shooting fireballs into people's faces, using like some kind of voodoo to make people throw up black goo. You can't just go from that and be like, all right, let's get in the ring. Lock up, Irish whip, headlock, hip toss. No, like it has to be like a fight or something that is in that avenue that they've been going down. You can't just have a regular match.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see what they come up with. Well, the build-wise anyway, and then actually at WrestleMania as well, but I think it'll probably become more clear. Probably on Raw this week, following what happened on Raw last week. But it's nice to see a WrestleMania payoff for a long-running storyline, which we've been a fan of all the way through. Not many people have, but we have.
Yes, we have.
Power of positivity on this podcast, mostly.
Damn right.
And continuing that power of positivity, Big E defends the Intercontinental title against Apollo Crews.
I like it.
Rematch from Fastlane.
Horrible finish to the Fastlane match.
To the point where it wasn't even replayed.
Don't know. So then they botched it.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
I don't know how. It was so weird and awkward and uncomfortable. But at least it kind of played into the whole, like, they need to have another match, which we knew was going to happen anyway. I don't really have anything other than, like, I'm excited. We talked about Apollo's new direction a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see Big E continue his singles run. I don't think we've had somebody lend this much credibility to the Intercontinental title in a long time. As you mentioned earlier, I don't think it's the most prestigious belt, and it's back to where it used to be, but it's way better than it's been.
Yeah.
And this feud has definitely helped with that. I think Apollo and Big E work well with one another. Apollo is tremendously athletic. Big E is phenomenal in a whole bunch of ways. I think this is a good match, and I'm excited.
Yes. And I say I can't call it, but I think Apollo's going to take this one. I think he could do some interesting things. As long as they don't drop the ball with him, because this gimmick he has could easily go so wrong. Can
you imagine him showing up on SmackDown with the belt and his Kingsguard and just walking down like, oh man, the king that he is, with his bodyguards and the belt and his whole like Royalty it would be so good.
Yeah.
So good.
And it would boost the belt as well. Highlight the belt.
I want that.
Centerpiece.
Give me Apollo winning this belt because I think I want to see Big E take the belt off Roman at SummerSlam.
Ooh. I like. And we've seen. I've always known Big E's a good promo.
Yes.
But when he has to go, in the last 2 weeks, he's kind of cut the same promo, like the same delivery of it, where he's just like looking right at the camera, he's just like just anger and like questioning Pat, like just complete fucking emotion. And then he had that in the interview with Apollo just the Friday before Fastlane, before he went and kicked the living piss out of him, and then there was a golf cart involved at some point. So I'm liking the character of Big E at the moment. It's good that he's getting his singles recognition. So if he does ever end up in a position where he's challenging Roman, like him and Heyman bouncing off each other, which they did on Talking Smack
several months
back, to kind of set up the whole, like, you should be going singles.
And didn't he do the whole like, oh, you're too jokey, you need to be like serious, like you're not going to get anywhere, and like unless you're serious.
It'll feed in nicely. Long-term booking, consistency.
There you go. Give me Big E loses to Apollo at Mania. They have a rematch. Apollo wins again. And then they're on SmackDown, and like Heyman and Reigns like pass him in the hallway and like laugh or like giggle or whisper to each other and chuckle. And then Big E's like, excuse me?
Excuse me?
Yeah, something like that. And then there you go.
So another match we're looking forward to.
Yep.
So pretty much every match so far, we're looking forward to it. And finally, this one is a big one for me. Very, very excited for this. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, added on SmackDown last night, or SmackDown just gone, depending on when you're listening to this.
Kevin Owens sucks. I'm just going to hate on everyone you like.
Do you hate Sami Zayn too?
Well, obviously, he's terrible.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this. I'm very excited for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They've done amazing things before. Whether it be Battlegrounds, NXT, Payback,
Ring of Honor, Final Battle,
all the pre-WWE stuff. Never mind WWE stuff. I am very, very excited, even though the build has been minimal.
Yeah, but it's almost like an instant build because you know the history they have, so it almost kind of just sets itself with like, oh.
Yeah, it's been very subtle, actually, the build to this. Like, it hasn't just been last week, Sammy Haluva's Owens, and then, oh, there we go, done, there's the build. Like, it's built. I think for the last week or two, you've had Sammy approaching Owens and going, look, like, you can be a part of the documentary, and Owens is kind of like, and then obviously it's built to that Haluva kick. But I think it's happened quite a number of times since Sammy started that whole documentary where he's trying to get Owens in. So I think behind the scenes, very subtly, it's built. This was probably never the plan, because Owens was obviously busy with Reigns for the best part of 4 months, I think it was, actually.
Yeah.
Which was no complaint, because it was an awesome series.
Yeah.
I think it has subtly built in the background. It just hasn't been in your face. But like you said, it doesn't need to be, because they always already have that natural history. And can you believe the thing that people are throwing out there? They can't just be happy that this match is happening. Right? You take away the on-screen side of things and the kayfabe side of things. Your two best friends who have grown up in this business together, and they're having a match against each other at WrestleMania. That's a fucking big deal.
Yeah,
That's
shut
amazing.
up and be happy for him.
Exactly. So that aside, you're getting people complaining that the match they had was either Battlegrounds or Payback, whichever one it was. It was billed as their last match ever against each other, and there was no mention to it whatsoever, no callbacks to it whatsoever. It wasn't a case like Owens said, "Oh yeah, I know this was a thing. This was our stipulation, many moons ago. Fuck that. We're fighting." There's no mention of it. There doesn't need to be any mention of it. The fact that I forgot about it, whoever dredged that up, Like, great, you have a fantastic memory. Kudos to you.
Yep.
But does it matter?
No.
Exactly. You're getting Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, for Christ's sake, at WrestleMania, where Kevin Owens is probably going to powerbomb Logan Paul through the pirate ship, so I don't know. But that's the thing that could actually hurt this. If Logan Paul is at WrestleMania,
if he gets involved in this match, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Or like if he walks, or if he like is Sammy's like valet or manager for the match, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, Logan Paul, like if he has to show up, have it next week. Done. Be it.
That's it. I don't want to see him again.
But we know WWE. The thing is, Logan Paul will come on next week. SmackDown will get a boost in viewership, and they'll go,
new champion, Logan Paul. Logan Paul is the new head of the table.
Yeah.
Fatal four-way. Edge, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Logan Paul.
Stranger things have happened.
It's not a prediction, it's a spoiler.
Can you imagine?
I would. The live stream is off. I'm out.
We're done.
Okay, goodbye.
We're done.
Just click.
I wasn't even thinking about Logan Paul being a WrestleMania. Now I am, and it's kind of.
I didn't even know it was a thing until you said it. That's why I was like, "Excuse me."
Excuse me. It sucks, doesn't it? It sucks.
Yeah. Douche.
But that is the 2 nights. There will likely be more added, purely because it's not in balance at the moment. Night 1 has 6. Night 2 has 5 matches at the moment. I know there's probably a few that could be on the show. Probably the Mysterios versus Dirty Dogs tag team titles, SmackDown tag team titles. The Raw women, the Raw tag team, friggin' hell, the women's tag team titles on the show. I hope it doesn't actually make the show, to be completely honest with you. Bayley doesn't have a match. Yeah, I think there's a few. Well, I guess there's no really time to get Bayley to have a match at this point.
When did Becky Lynch give birth?
Ooh, 3 months ago.
Oh, so okay, never mind. I was thinking maybe we get a Becky Lynch appearance, but that baby's still way too young. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else they could add, but there will be other stuff. And obviously you got the US title to factor into things as well.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I think, honestly, I actually think it's going to be Sheamus versus Riddle.
Great.
For the US title. So, and it'll probably be on night 2.
Pre-show.
Pre-show, yeah. But there we go. So I'd say, I mean, if you haven't heard that, compare the enthusiasm between night 1 and night 2. If we're going to do one night, it's going to be night 2 on the Sunday. But we are going to push to do both nights.
Sunday. Mega
Slam. I'm excited for WrestleMania this year. And I'm curious, because I didn't watch the Super Bowl this year. So I haven't even seen any footage of how they worked in the crowd element. Was it well done?
Yeah.
Because it's a similar kind of capacity and stuff, isn't it?
It all depends on how amped up the people are for it. If you've got...
How many people were at the Super Bowl, just out of curiosity?
I don't remember.
Was it thousands or tens of thousands?
Tens of thousands.
Well, that's pretty good.
Like 10,000. Maybe 10, 15.
10, 15.
Somewhere around the 10-ish mark, give or take, like 4,000. Actually, no, I don't think I know it wasn't less than 10.
It's how that sounds. I'm saying that 10,000 is a lot of fucking people.
Well, I mean, not for a huge stadium that shows.
Yeah.
A bunch of. Hold on, I'm looking it up. I am.
But either way, I'm excited that we're gonna have fans in attendance regardless.
Yeah, so they can see Drew get his belt.
Oh, you can. Unbelievable. If you're watching on video feed right now, Anthony's face has just disappeared from shot.
All right, I came back. I'm back. Chroma's being foolish.
No. I'm just going to leave it.
Just leave it.
You can be half ahead. No. Well, you I can see you, but you're like half ahead. So I'm just going to leave it.
That's fair.
Nah, I'll bring you back. I'll do some jiggery pokery whilst we're... Oh, there you go. You're back in the game.
Back in the game.
Back in the game.
Back in the game, I am.
So what did you discover on the internet?
I didn't. Chrome was being weird, and then I cut out, so I decided to just not go through with it.
I see.
So it was all for naught.
All for nothing. All for nothing. But either way, fans in attendance, excitement.
Pirate ships.
Potential 2 nights, live watch along. Twitch.tv/Project Dits. 2 weeks from now. I'm excited. I'm pumped. Give it to me.
Me too.
I want to watch it now. But I am very aware of the time. We've gone way over the hour. But I think... Well, it's WrestleMania season. I own this network of podcasts, amazing podcasts. So screw it. We're going to go an hour and a half. We're the flagship. We do what we want. We do what we want. So as for plugs, for me, just the standard. You can find me at Project Dits. No, not that one. Boom.
Oh,
right
so
there.
close.
So close. At Project Dits across Twitter and Instagram, and then on YouTube and Twitch, it is literally just Project Dits. Just search that and you will find me on there. Twitch is still being a pretty big thing for me at the moment. Streaming Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Doing a lot of Dark Souls at the moment, which is making me very sad. And of course, Twitch is where we will be doing the live watch along. So if you're not following us, or following me on Twitch, then do go and do that. So you'll get the go lives and all that good stuff on the nights.
Yeah.
And that's it for me.
Oh, I guess I should go.
Well, logically, yes.
No one else should go? Isn't there someone else?
The skull in the middle of us should pipe up now.
Yeah, shouldn't I would say the skull. Do your thing, skull. We've rehearsed this time and time again. I am Anthony, co-host here on the Dow Pod. Find me on Twitter at pro__ant. That's pro, 2 underscores ANT. Again, find me here every single week on the Dow Pod, part of Project Dits. You can also find me on my own solo podcast titled Disguised Coverage, a Buffalo Bills podcast breaking down things in the NFL pertaining to the Buffalo Bills and anything and everything NFL draft, free agency, a lot of stuff. So if football is your thing or the Buffalo Bills is also your thing, give me a follow. Check myself out. Check out the Cover One Network that I am a part of there, breaking down a whole bunch of things and doing stuff like that. And, Drew McIntyre is terrible.
I'm glad that we're not signing off with that.
No, we never would.
We're not signing off with that because we are signing off.
Yep.
As ever, with a heartwarming, motivational, inspirational, final thought / goodbye from the fantastic Anthony that is to your right, looking at the screen right now. Are you ready to deliver to these wonderful people who are watching / listening?
I want to... Tonight's goodbye is... I dabble in philosophy. I'm heavily into philosophy. Mainly Eastern. Not so much Western. It's a different level of intelligence. And in my dabbling, I came across a passage from a well-known Eastern philosopher, and I wanted to share it with everyone tonight. It's a bit long. Goodbye.